With the finalisation of the Nations League, we turn our attention to the transfer window, ahead of some interesting signings for some desperate clubs. There's a lot to get through during this episode, from coverage of the Nations League to free agents, transfer rumours, debatable scenarios, along with, of course, much more football chat. As always, if you enjoy the podcast, support us with a subscription and don't forget to check out our other platforms. We now post exclusive content on our YouTube channel under the name Let's Talk Ball Podcast. Any support is greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's talk ball.
Decent
Intro plays.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, quite good.
Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Let's Talk Ball podcast. I'm Samuel Slaney and I'm joined with Connor Ward and John Lomas.
Yes. How are you?
Right. We're back for Episode 2 already.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, not bad, yeah.
What do you think of that fire alarm just?
Yeah, feeling quite
Set the
woken up
mood,
now,
yeah. Yeah, I was quite tired this morning.
So loud. Well, like I said, me and Connor both woke up late, didn't we?
We did, yeah, quite an early start sort of
Just
thing.
for some clarification, we got into the studio just about to start recording and we have a massively loud fire alarm.
Quite, like you said outside, it's definitely a case of crying wolf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What if there was a real fire?
Well, that's the thing, because there's been one actual kind of situation where a little fire has broke out.
What, at the uni?
No, that was at primary school for me.
Yeah.
Someone burned a jacket potato in a microwave.
We had that. Do you remember
I do remember,
at
no.
Grove, we had that.
I don't remember.
What was it, jacket potato as well?
It wasn't, it was like toast, I think.
It's always some kind of
stupid, isn't it? Something silly.
That. Always. So the first ever Nations League tournament has now come to an end. Are you boys a fan of it?
Yeah, especially over meaningless friendlies. I think it'll grow over time. I would have liked to have seen a few more better sides in the last four, because I felt like the quality wasn't the greatest, especially in the final. I mean, the Dutch weren't that good.
I think you could argue that that's what the tournament's there for, to sort of allow teams to grow and whatnot. It's a tournament which is, you could argue, is not as important, should I say, as other internationals. So
it's not as important.
It could be there to sort of improve a team's, team's chemistry sort of thing. You know what I mean? Allow them to prepare for the Euros, World Cup, etc.
It's not a World Cup or a
European
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like,
serves its purpose.
It's important in the sense that like it ties into qualification.
Yeah.
It helps your ranking, which will help in your ranking in group stages in those tournaments. So there is an incentive there.
I mean, it gives chance as well for the smaller teams.
Yeah, it does.
With the promotion available as well.
And hopefully that means that, okay, at the beginning you're going to see some pretty poor sides in the championships, but hopefully those countries develop into better footballing nations. I thought in the World Cup, Iran surprised me that they weren't actually that bad. And that's maybe because they're now getting into the finals of the World Cup and their development's getting better. So therefore they're putting more money into developing further talent.
I thought Japan as well.
Japan have always been a decent side.
Do you remember Japan versus Germany in the World Cup?
Do you remember their 2010 team?
Oh, when you had players like
Keisuke Honda.
Honda.
Yeah, they were really
Kagawa.
Yeah, you look at that team on paper. It's quite impressive.
Well, they beat Colombia in this World Cup, didn't they, Japan? And they ran Belgium very close.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how technical the players were.
Yeah,
obviously they haven't got the height on their side. That's just genetics of being from that country.
But yeah, it helps globalise the game, I think.
100%, yeah. I want to throw a negative in there though. For the Nations League.
England.
It's taxing on the players.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Some players will have played upwards of 50 to 60 games in this season.
Yeah.
With all the pre-season friendlies, domestic football.
Tiring though.
Yeah, think about that. That's a lot of wear and tear on the players.
It was way too short a gap between the Champions League final and the Nations League. I think that's more a criticism of the Champions League final. I don't know why that's early June now.
When do you reckon it should be?
Well, it used to be. Don't we all remember when it used to be like mid-May, like when it was half-term time? But especially when I was at school, I remember Champions League final was a Wednesday night at half-term.
Just going back to this, I've got the stats here. So Raheem Sterling, he's played 55 games and then 61 if you count the end of last season, the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then this is going to blow your mind. Virgil van Dijk had a real good season.
Yeah.
62 games this season without the World Cup, because obviously Netherlands weren't in it.
No, the Dutch weren't in it.
How mad is that? That's 5,035 minutes.
Like I said, it's a lot of minutes inside 12 months.
It is, and
Shows
is
his
that too
worth,
many
though.
games for the modern day footballer? Because if you're going back to, let's go back 30 years,
Yeah.
that's too many games.
Yeah.
But for the
Football is a
modern day
game.
footballer,
I think the standard
Is that
obviously
too-
it's a lot quicker as well and whatnot. The game
Yeah,
is
yeah, definitely.
Footballers are more, especially than 30 odd years ago, they're a lot more
fitter as well.
fitter. and-
Diets.
I mean, you see, I know he's a goalkeeper, but you've got Buffon, who's like, what, 41?
Yeah, yeah.
He's retiring though, isn't he, at the end of the season, I think.
I don't think he's retired.
I don't know. I think
Post-
he's got
post-
one club in him.
Really?
I
Posted a
think.
thing, didn't he,
He's
on
leaving
his...
PSG. That's
Yeah,
all.
he's
he's
definitely
going-
leaving.
Hasn't
yeah.
said he's retiring, but he's leaving.
I've heard he's linked with
PSG.
Porto out.
Can you really... because Casillas is retiring, aren't he?
It just seems weird that, it's a shame for Casillas.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
but it was
a shame.
a heart attack, wasn't it?
But it seems weird, a 41-year-old coming in to replace a 38-year-old.
I'd like to see Buffon, to a degree, carry on playing. Though.
Yeah,
I'd quite
he's
like
one of
that.
those
I do.
that's, sits dear in your heart
It's
sort
such
of
a
thing.
shame he's never going to be
The World
win
Champions
Champions
League,
Champions
yeah.
League. The mad thing is, he's been one of the top goalkeepers since us lot were all born.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
1999 he joined Juventus. I
Started
think.
playing 1995. That's over 20 years of professional
And he's
football.
been one of the top he's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen.
That's a
I'd
good
say,
question,
Buffon.
actually. Who do you think's the
We'll
best?
save that for later.
Yeah,
Let's
go
get
on,
back
yeah.
onto this. So, obviously, with playing that many games in a season, you run the risk of injury.
Yeah.
Let's play, 62
That's-
games in
yeah,
a season.
natural.
Yeah.
And obviously, if a player gets injured in the Nations League, they're going to miss the start of the league season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sketchy, I think. I do think it's too many games, but I'm not complaining because it's another tournament for us to watch.
It's fine for neutrals watching. But I've always thought a good comparison with footballers and how we go on about the minutes. And I get it's tiring, but for example, you compare it to something like tennis.
Oh, it's grueling, isn't it?
Well, it's very grueling, and they almost put footballers to shame in this sense, in that, like, you're on tour for basically the whole entire year, probably a gap between December and January before you're in for the next one. And in those tournaments are 2-week-long tournaments. And well, if you're in the Grand Slams, which is best of 5, your average time on court is probably going to be about the smallest amount of time you're going to have is 2 hours. So you're doing that every other day for a 2-week
Yeah, I get that.
span.
And there are definitely sports that test their athletes much more.
Yeah. I think that's
So when you're
really-
looking at that, potentially it might not be too many games.
Exactly. So I think it's I've always thought tennis is probably the most grueling sport. So I think it's quite a harsh comparison to compare tennis to football. But it's interesting in the sense, in looking in that sense that, like, how footballers seem to.
They're kind of like the prima donnas, aren't they?
Almost, yeah. in
Looked
that
after a
sense.
bit
yeah.
too much.
Whilst, like,
How
people
so?
like Rafa Nadal and all them lot are, putting in 3-hour matches every other day, and we're kind of like saying, oh, they're playing 2 90-minute matches a week. God, how awful!
Yeah.
It does make you think, doesn't it?
Right,
It's
so
interesting.
now on to the first ever winners of the Nations League, Portugal. And you just have to think that could have been us.
Well, yeah.
The first ever winners of that tournament.
It was never going to be, though, was it? Really?
I thought we were favourites going into it.
You look
Yeah,
at the Dutch team
last
as well.
podcast we said, didn't we? We said, I mean, I remember you saying that it's no shame if we do lose to the Netherlands.
Yeah,
But we both said, we all said we're favourites going into it.
yeah. We were,
Especially
and,
coming off the win against Spain. And
yeah. And I said that there was no shame in losing to Holland, but there was a shame in losing in that manner.
Yeah,
Because
there was.
That was just that felt like old England.
2010.
It did, yeah.
That felt like Roy Hodgson England.
I just
know.
can't get over how different the squad was compared to what I thought it'd be.
Well,
The formation was right,
the
but
formation was right, but that 3-man midfield, Fabian
I know.
Delph and Ross Barkley, how are they England internationals still?
yeah.
I mean, like they've
I
got
mean,
to be axing players like that now.
The one thing I'll say about Barkley, did you see that Panenka penalty?
It was a nice penalty he did, but other than that, I mean, like that third goal for the Holland one.
Yeah.
I think actually it's more Stones' fault for passing to him as he's under pressure.
Well,
but
that's all it was. Like, we just couldn't handle Holland's press.
no, we
I
couldn't.
haven't seen a press like that like in international football.
No.
It resembled Liverpool. Just finalising the
work.
Nations League then.
Yeah.
So it was kind of another Nations League game, another ruled out VAR goal. That was
Yeah.
VAR was the epitome.
Again,
our
yeah.
tournament.
Seems to be a recurring
How
theme. doesn't it?
close was that Lingard one?
Oh, I know. And what build up as well.
Wonderful football. It was
Yeah,
probably the only
the best play of the game.
Well, it was the only good bit of play we did, and it
Yeah.
would have won us the game. I actually think we probably would have lost to Portugal in the final. To be fair, after looking at after looking at them on Sunday, they played a lot better than they did against Switzerland. I think they'd have beaten us.
Portugal seem Bernardo Silva as well.
They turn up for the
They
the
do,
tournaments.
yeah. You've got to give
They
them
really
that.
do.
Other than
And it's not just Ronaldo as well. It's the
Well,
other
Bernardo
players, right?
Silva, like you
Yeah.
say.
other than the World Cup, I thought they were pretty poor at the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
But they seem to be really good at the European Championships more than the World Cup.
Why
Is
do you
that
reckon
just
that?
me?
Why is that, do you reckon?
I don't know why.
No, I
but
get
like,
what you mean with that.
Well, it's just
Recently,
weird, though.
anyway.
because
Well,
I've seen.
Is it because of the absence of the Brazils or?
Well,
that kind
I
of-
don't think it's that. I just
I don't know why.
I don't know.
They
But
seem
like,
to thrive in
I
those
don't why though.
tournaments.
because
I
they-
mean,
Strange.
I think it was evidence that they were going to here because they were playing at home.
Yeah.
yeah. It
That's
makes
always
sense
massive.
here.
That is, if you host a tournament,
Plus,
it's always
I
a
think
big advantage.
their three team group was Italy and Poland, and they were the best team out of those three. So they were always going to get to the finals, and then they were hosting it. So they probably on that point had a very good chance of winning it. It all depended on Ronaldo if he played.
Turned
and
up
he
and
did,
what
And it
he
was that
did.
man Ronaldo.
Yeah,
to
especially
propel
in
them into the
Switzerland
final.
game.
So he made 2 appearances and scored 3 goals.
Yeah, and what?
Insane.
And the mad thing was in that Switzerland game, he didn't even have that good a game.
Do you think
I know,
Ronaldo's
yeah.
the best goal scorer of all time?
For me, this is just going to hurt people.
Not the
I
best
think.
player, but goal scorer.
I think he's the best goal scorer of all time.
I do
I
agree
think he's
with
actually
that.
the best player of all time.
I don't agree with the best player. No.
Messi.
Messi, yeah.
In
Best
terms
goals.
of what though?
Uh,
In
Everything?
terms of watching him,
Just
I
in
complete
think
terms of
player.
entertainment,
I think we've the Messi Ronaldo argument. Is
it'll
very
go on
tight.
forever.
It's a very
Yeah.
tired
It's a
argument.
Pele and
it's
Maradona.
good though. It's good though.
But I think I'd say the things I'd give to Ronaldo over Messi is he's a better header of the ball. He's better at penalties.
Arguably better at shooting.
A certain shot,
Yeah,
a power shot, he's better than him at. Not a lot else though.
I'll always remember that one for United against Porto.
Well,
Yeah,
the one
that
he's-
was
those
absolute
smashed it
screamer.
from what? Yeah.
But like if
Mad.
Messi does some good strikes. I mean, like his free kicks have got insane now. Messi's have.
Yeah, I mean we saw
Ronaldo's
that one
free
against
kicks are
Liverpool
inconsistent, aren't they?
They
as
are
well?
really inconsistent.
Yeah,
Although
yeah, I mean,
he scored a very good one on
against Switzerland.
on Thursday against Switzerland. That was a
Yeah.
beautiful free kick. But I used to be one of those that was like a bit of a snob towards Ronaldo. I used to properly think Messi's different level to him, and it's not even close. But as the years have gone on, I've started to admire him more, especially how he's transitioned his game from an out-and-out winger into a deadly striker. I think is so impressive.
Taking into consideration the age as well.
And the fact that he's proven in multiple leagues.
Yeah, he is.
I do think Messi could probably do it in the Premier League
Oh, 100%.
or whatever league he's in, but we'll never
100%.
fully know. It's okay coming up against English teams in the Champions League. That's a different atmosphere,
A
different level.
cold, rainy night away at Stoke.
Can he
though.
do it in a? Yeah, he's come out and said apparently in
What
an
did he say?
interview like a few years ago.
He said, "Well, I did it on the streets of Argentina
That's
with
it,
broken
yeah.
glass, so I'm pretty sure I'd be able to do it."
Did he acknowledge the
Yeah.
cold rainy night
I
at
mean,
Stoke?
come on, let's be real here. He's gonna have a good game at Stoke. I don't think Shawcross is gonna put him in his back pocket, is he?
Oh, I'd love to see
Pretty
it.
sure he spins past Ryan Shawcross. I mean, if he can spin past Sergio Ramos, he's probably gonna spin past Ryan Shawcross. Let's be honest. But like I said, it's. I get why you'd think Ronaldo's better, but I've always personally
Do you reckon this sort of
Favourite Messi.
increases Ronaldo's stake in terms of the Ballon d'Or?
no.
I get that was a
Um,
question for next week,
yeah,
but it's worth.
I do think that I don't think he's got a chance compared to Van Dijk. But
Yeah.
he's definitely done something for him.
yeah, definitely think it
I
deserves
mean, with
acknowledgement.
Portugal winning as well. The Ballon d'Or recently, I remember we touched on this in season 1.
Yeah,
It's kind of more of what you've won as opposed to
It
how
is,
good
yeah.
your
I
I
season
think
is.
it's always been that though.
especially with Modric.
Like I think, well,
Oh,
definitely
massively
Modric.
with
Yeah.
Modric.
But I think
To be fair, I think Messi should have won it.
When you
Yet
think
he
of it in
finished
terms of
fifth.
player performance,
Or Mbappe then. Someone like that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have said Modric.
yeah. The thing was, I kind of backed Modric getting it. I thought he was the best player at the World Cup, and in a World Cup year, they usually go with someone like that, and he did win the Champions League. And I think if he's not in that Croatia team, they don't make the final. So I think it's a good argument to have Modric in there. But going back to that, I think whoever wins the Ballon d'Or, it is usually down to what they have achieved at club level and country level.
who would you give it to this year?
Van Dijk probably.
How
I
come?
don't know.
I'd go Van Dijk.
I'd probably go Van Dijk.
I think this season, this year, he's proven himself for me as the best centre-back in the world.
he is the
Best
centre-back
defender in the world.
He is the best centre-back in the world.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree with you. Yeah, especially now considering he's won the Champions League as well. So not only has he got that performance-based,
But he's
stat
proven.
down, proven in terms of trophies as well.
Yes.
And if he won the Nations League as well, then
Oh.
it's no question,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Still made it to the final though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And again, they'll use that. I mean, Croatia. Modric.
Yeah, true, exactly.
Didn't win it, but
I suppose
I don't think anyone else.
Modric dragged them.
I don't think anyone else has had a standout year compared to him. Like
Van Dijk.
Messi's had a brilliant year, and I think I wouldn't be overly shocked, or I wouldn't really complain if he won it.
And then you look at Raheem Sterling as well. He's had a great year.
Yes.
But I think I would have gone for Sterling if he'd have won the PFA Player of the Year.
Van Dijk won that too.
Van Dijk won that.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was for me, it was between them. To be honest,
for the PFA, it was, and Van Dijk.
Whoever won that was going to win the Ballon d'Or or have the best chance of winning it.
Well, if Messi had won the Champions League, Messi definitely would have won it.
Isn't it the first? It would be the first centre-back or defender, so to speak, to win a Ballon d'Or since Fabio Cannavaro in 2006.
Yeah,
see, I think that's
yeah.
interesting. That it's maybe long time due to give it to a defender.
Defender, yeah, definitely. It's definitely a lot more difficult.
It's a lot more difficult, yeah.
Since
if
Messi
you're not
and Ronaldo,
an attacker.
It's since Messi and Ronaldo, they've just taken over.
But yeah, going back to Ronaldo though, do you remember when we were packing up and we turned everything off?
Yeah.
And I literally said, and I don't think the listeners will believe this at all, but I said, I bet Ronaldo will score a hat-trick against Switzerland.
I remember him saying that.
You love Ronaldo, don't you?
I do, to be fair, but I just felt it because, like, in the Serie A, as we've said, the defences are so tight and organised.
Yeah.
And it was almost just a freedom for him against Switzerland. And he was going to pounce on any little mistake.
It's a slower league, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
It's more defensive.
It's a lot more defensive.
It's always been. It's Italian football. It's defensive football. It just like is. You back in the day, you used to have those all Italian finals in the Champions League, and people used to always say how boring they were because they were so conservative.
Apparently, United are looking to twice break the transfer record for a defender if they had to sign the obviously England duo. Is it Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
From Bissaka from Crystal Palace and Harry Maguire from Leicester for a combined total of 130 million. Wow.
I'd take Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Has he got? I haven't done a lot of research.
He's promising. Again, it's a bit like a Daniel James signing. Yeah, he's one of them signings where he's not fully proven, but it's a typical old school United signing where it's like there's potential, bring him in.
He's good though, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's a very good player. I'm really surprised he didn't get in the England
Well,
team.
his numbers this season have been incredible. His numbers per game are phenomenal.
They need a right back United do as well. I need to be perfect.
Massively. I mean, we're in a kind of transition period where I see a future for Diogo Dalot, 100%.
Yeah.
But he's not at that level just yet.
And Aaron Wan-Bissaka was a very good player.
Now, it's kind of a difficult one. We need to be looking at maturity to bring in on that right. That's what I feel anyway.
How old is Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
21.
Yeah, so he's kind of similar age to Dalot. If anything, it kind of causes a problem because he's probably going to be left out of the squad, Dalot.
Yeah.
So it's one of them. I think we need a mature and experienced right back. Not too experienced, not like an Antonio Valencia type of age.
He's leaving, isn't he, as well?
He is, and I've actually got a list of players. It transitions nicely onto Premier League free agents who are available this summer. So I'll run through some of them.
Go on.
Okay.
I want you to imagine a club where...
Picking them up?
Yeah.
Where it would work, so to speak.
If it would work as well, or should they retire?
Yeah.
So, Danny Welbeck.
Oh, God.
That's got West Ham.
He's 28 years old.
It's a West Ham signing.
He's got a couple of years in him.
Crystal Palace or something. I don't know.
That's a West Ham signing.
Does seem, free transfer.
I can see a Premier
League
League club snapping him up.
That's how they got Sami Nasri and all those players.
Jack Wilshere as well.
Pablo Zabaleta and all those.
Andy Carroll.
West Ham do that. That's a West Ham signing.
Aston Villa have actually had a proper clear out since getting promoted.
Well, they got rid of Micah Richards, didn't they?
Yeah,
as well?
and Glenn Whelan.
Get Glenn Whelan
and Mile Jedinak as well. I think Micah Richards, though, I don't know what's happened. He hasn't played for 2 years.
2 years, yeah. I told you, he's still at Villa.
There's something wrong there with him, isn't there?
Why is he not left there? Why is he not pushed through for a move? If you're not playing,
probably just not interested.
If
he's getting
he'd
paid,
get a move to China. If he wants money, he'd get a move to China easily.
Probably.
He's got the
lazy though. That's where it'll be.
We go to a podcasting legend, Peter Crouch.
Yeah, Fatlow podcaster.
He's got to retire, hasn't he? He's got to now.
He should have stayed at Stoke though. I think
could have gone into a coaching role, maybe
a couple more seasons. Yeah,
I get why he went to Burnley though, because he was offered the chance of being in the Premier League, and Stoke wanted Vokes, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's such a shame, he didn't score.
Because he had his appendix out, so he was there was a part he was out for a couple of months, and
he only made 6 appearances, didn't he? Something like that.
And they were all off the bench. I remember there was one time against Palace he came close. on the half volley.
I reckon the crowd would have gone mental if he scored.
Trust me.
100%.
Not many.
The robot would have been bust out everywhere.
And he won a penalty in his first game.
Yeah, on his debut, wasn't it? Yeah.
Have you listened to his podcast?
I was.
Yeah, for me, that's the best podcast.
Dead interested.
I was at that game as well when he won the pen, and as soon as he came in, I was like, he could do something from set pieces, because like if you just pump crosses into him, because we've got good crosses on the wings. He's
got the height anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a bicycle kick in him as well.
Yeah.
I don't know
how.
It
doesn't look right though, does it?
I know. Like,
it's
how
weird.
does that even happen?
He's better on his feet than he is with his head.
And he's got the most heady.
If you watch him with his
heady goals.
If you watch him though, when he heads the ball, he doesn't actually do like a motion.
He
like
just
that.
jumps, doesn't he?
He just jumps and almost like hits his head
and bounces off.
It's like he goes backwards.
He doesn't
almost.
like propel his neck. And,
yeah, it's a really strange head movement.
You just wouldn't expect someone that tall. What is he? 6'8"?
6'8", yeah, 6'7", 6'8",
yeah.
He's around that.
Very, very.
I mean, you
tall.
wouldn't even think he could hit a bicycle kick.
No, I know.
Well, he's just he's so thin.
I know.
It gets me out. Can just knock him off.
Just what a guy, though. What a guy.
Legend, yeah.
You know, he's up there for me with the best people in football.
Well, he's just got that humour, hasn't he? Obviously, if you listen to his podcast.
I do get why, like, a lot of Burnley fans didn't want him in, because they didn't think he was past it and stuff, and I get that.
Well, he's past it, definitely past it.
And I wouldn't.
Did he ever have it?
I wouldn't be desperate to, keep
That's
him.
a bold statement.
But
yeah, did Crouch ever? Was he ever really?
He was pretty good for his level.
I think
especially.
I suppose he served a purpose.
He scored a lot of goals for England.
Yeah, he was
decent
very
for
good for England
Spurs as well.
Good for Spurs.
Liverpool
was kind of played out of position at Liverpool, but when he did play at striker,
yeah, I suppose he just serves a purpose, doesn't he? Sort of thing, you know. You know what you're getting out of him.
He was good for Stoke.
Yeah, he was
for a goal against Man City.
That'll forever be in my memory.
He came out of nowhere.
He genuinely was really good for Stoke, wasn't he? And
I mean, could you see him in the MLS?
Yeah.
Or is he past
I think if he's going to move somewhere.
I think he'll stay.
You know, what
England.
league would you go to? The A-League.
Championship.
Australian League is a shout. Quite slow-paced.
Yeah.
I just think he likes it here in England.
To be honest, I don't think he's that cocky or anything, is he? I think he'd be happy to go to like a League One club or something like that.
Yeah, it depends on the wages, I think. I think
we saw that with Joe Cole, didn't we?
It really
went to Coventry.
It really depends.
Ashley Cole as well.
Yeah.
It really
so
depends.
Like Lampard they want.
It really depends with Burnley, I think, because they could sign him on for another contract. But if they were to sign another striker, which they're looking at, I would be surprised if they were to put him in, because then he's probably not getting on the bench. So
I mean, is he worth signing up for the dressing room and the experience?
This is the thing. He could be good for the dressing
definitely.
room. Like, he seemed like he got on with the guys there quite well. He always does. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, he's the sort of player where wherever you put him, he's gonna light up the dressing room.
He's mates with Dyche as well, because it was hit because someone found a photo from the summer. They went to him, Dyche, Crouch, and the Kasabian front guy. Forgot his name.
I wouldn't like get on the wrong side of Sean Dyche.
All those three were at a gig together. So I think they're mates.
Crouch is doing a gig, isn't he? Crouch Fest or something.
No way.
Have you not read about it?
No.
Really?
No, actually.
Have you listened to his podcast?
Yeah.
He mentions it.
I haven't listened to like the.
I've literally sat there on my phone and had it on the background as I've been browsing Facebook and just listened to it. Honestly, it is really.
I have heard it's really good.
He's talking about doing like a festival, Crouch Fest.
I'd go there
because he's proper into his festivals and stuff. His photo and stuff.
Well, like I said, he's there with Dyche all the time, isn't he? And that's a good man to have next to you, isn't it?
Imagine him drunk, Sean Dyche.
Utter respect for Crouch.
Imagine Sean Dyche drunk, getting on the wrong side of him.
Oh man,
like I said, we've talked.
You're benched in the morning, Crouch.
We've talked about this before. Me and Connor have. He wins a Premier League managers Royal Rumble.
Like a fight, yeah.
If there's a Royal Rumble between all 20 managers in the Premier League, he definitely wins.
Oh, I love that scenario.
I think in terms of managers that aren't in and playing, Sam Allardyce, I reckon.
I think Dyche would take him.
I reckon it'd be tough throughout the ring.
I think Dyche would take him though. I reckon he's one of those. I think Dyche is probably just a little bit. He's a little bit slimmer, so he's quicker.
Yeah.
So
who would be like the Rey Mysterio type?
Like,
yeah. Maybe Jose Mourinho.
Gianfranco Zola.
That's a shout.
I reckon Brendan Rodgers is like the
Brendan.
Is the dirty heel Like he's one of those. He's a bad guy. He's kind
I
of
reckon
like.
you could just smack Brendan Rodgers and you go down.
But he's one of those. He'd be like Alan Pardew as well. He'd be like one of those sneaky guys where like he'd use dirty.
Brendan comes in late.
You can imagine Alan Pardew as like a heel, can't you? Figure like a.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Him and Brendan Rodgers, they're both like arrogant people. So like they could fit that.
Incredibly
role quite
harsh.
Well. He is quite arrogant though, isn't he, Brendan Rodgers? Do you get that vibe of Rodgers? I do.
I don't get that. I think he's going to do really well for Leicester, though.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Well, he's already doing good, isn't he?
I think that's a good fit, I do, actually, yeah. I think they'll finish 7th. But
Right, so let's go on to another one then. Gary Cahill.
Oh, he's been released.
Because he's a pretty accomplished centre-back.
MLS, maybe you can see that, can't you?
I heard rumours of Aston Villa.
Well, they did it with JT, didn't they, John Terry?
Yeah, I could see that. I'm sure he'd obviously advise him as well and tell him it's a nice club to go to.
Yeah.
Sheffield United, I heard him there as well, apparently, and Burnley. Those are the 3.
It's a signing.
It'd be a great signing for those type of clubs.
Yeah.
You know, just come back into the Prem.
Well, like I said, you got all the trophies he's won as well. So decorate career.
You know, he slots in and he's captain straight away.
Well, he used to play for Villa.
He
was on loan at Burnley for a bit, I remember, and Sheffield United, he might have played at. He might have done. I heard Sheffield United after.
Here's another Chelsea legend then, Rob Green.
He's been released, or is he retired? I thought he's retired.
I'm not sure.
I think he's retired.
Retiring
I think Rob Green's retired.
Either way, he's not got a contract.
He's got to have retired.
The cheek to lift the Europa League.
That was amazing.
They did that as a joke.
It's a joke.
That is funny. Come on.
Again, he seems a bit like Crouch, where he's got a lot of banter.
He did play a game.
When?
He came on against Leon. Was it friendly? I don't know if it's friendly or in some capacity. He came on against. It was Leon. I know that.
Right.
He saved a penalty.
Chelsea legend.
Yeah, Chelsea legend. Yeah, get him on the back of your shirt.
Win the Europa League with him.
Well, yeah, exactly. There was the BT Sport. I think what's his name?
Jake Humphrey.
Jake Humphrey. Yeah, there was a clip of Rob Green lifting the Europa League, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, well done, Rob Green. We'll do it without you."
Phil Jagielka is another one.
No,
well, I just said here that Sheffield United are linked with him.
He was at Sheffield United.
He was at Sheffield United. Yeah, I reckon.
Completely past it though.
I reckon he'd be all right for them though. On the bench.
Garbage.
On the bench though. I think you've been harsh.
Past it. Have you seen all the fans rant about him and stuff like that?
Yeah, I know. Like, we're talking about Sheffield United though, Connor. Come on.
Maybe there's a lot thingy room.
You do need experience, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, with that, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish the free agents.
Yes.
And I've got an interactive segment that is pretty good.
Sounds interesting.
Right, welcome back to the second half of the Let's Talk Ball podcast. Earlier, we were just touching on free agents. We're just going to finish that section off. So, we were up to Danny Simpson, 32 years old.
Didn't he date Tulisa? He dated some pop star, I remember.
No, he dated the one from Corrie, wasn't he?
He got in a bit of trouble for
it.
No,
that's Scott Sinclair.
Oh, yeah, it is Scott Sinclair.
You need to
get it up.
Anyway, though, Premier League winner.
Well, yeah.
Along with his teammate, Shinji Okazaki.
Jimmy Traore won the Champions League.
Well, Thomas Kuszczak won the Premier League, so...
3 times, wasn't he, Thomas Kuszczak?
Yeah.
Go on.
Daniel Sturridge.
What are you saying?
He's a free agent.
Free agent, yeah.
Well,
29 years old.
Prone, isn't he?
Yeah, injury prone, but, you know, when he's given the chance and when he's on his day, he's a good striker.
Wages, though.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, but surely if you're in that position, you know you're injury prone.
You'd lower your
Surely
wages.
You'd say, fair play, I'll lower my wages.
Yeah, but footballs don't though, do they?
I don't get why they don't.
I don't get it.
Even if you were bagging 60k a week,
that sounds
I'd take
that sounds like another West Ham signing or an Everton. Well, not.
So just any overpriced, past it, injury prone
player,
West Ham just throwing money at them.
Yeah, West Ham are like the dumping ground for the Premier League.
Yeah, they are.
And it's kind of like Inter Milan are as well in the Serie A.
Yeah.
Inter Milan do the same thing. Free agent, sign him up.
Yeah.
How old is he? No, I don't care, mate. It's free.
Yeah, well,
give him a load of wages.
Well, that's proven well at United.
It's like because they did it with they got Patrice Evra last year. The other
year.
Well,
Samurai kicked that fan, didn't he?
Zabaleta.
Ninja kicked someone, didn't he?
They've been using him, to be fair.
Zabaleta, yeah, he's been all right, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think who else they've got in.
Right then, next one, Alberto Moreno.
No, I don't rate him.
He's 26 years old.
I don't really rate him, man.
Again, he's a player who just seems like he's been around forever.
Shocking. Diabolical.
Yeah. Honestly, awful defensive player. I honestly couldn't believe how bad he is defensively.
Well, guess what? This will shock you. He's linked with Barcelona.
Oh, do me a favour.
Why?
to come in
Why
for Jordi
again?
Alba.
Why?
I know. I don't get
He's
it.
not good. Like he genuinely. I mean, I suppose at Barcelona, you could be
Barca have a
protected.
tendency to do that, don't they? Go for weird players. Kevin Prince Boateng.
Yeah, what the hell happened?
That
there?
Well, what?
Alex
Yeah.
Vidal as well.
What? That?
That right back.
Oh, I think you meant the.
No, not Arturo.
Yeah.
Alex Vidal, yeah.
We've obviously got Antonio Valencia, 33 years old.
Getting back
He's
at
been
Wigan.
linked with DC, hasn't he? DC
Yeah.
United.
He'll go to MLS. Yeah.
Stephen Naismith, Norwich, 32.
He looks like what's the name from the Goonies? The sloth, don't he, a little bit to a degree.
It's a bit harsh.
Well,
He's not a good-looking.
He looks
bloke,
like he's
but,
seen
like,
a ghost. You know, like fright,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
stage
yeah,
of
yeah.
fright thing you go through.
You know, what clubs, though, do you reckon he could go to? Got to be back to Scotland.
Bloody plastic
Rangers.
surgery clinic.
Rangers.
maybe.
Surgery FC.
Rangers. He used to play for them, didn't he? He'll go back Rangers.
He's been on loan at Hearts.
Or maybe he goes there.
I'm not
then.
sure how he's done there, but
Well, who cares?
it's some SPL
Scottish
team
League,
anyway.
isn't it?
Yeah. I think we need to go on to the biggest. Well, before we get on to the biggest one, the last one now.
Yeah.
Fernando Llorente, the speculation that he won't get given a contract.
I think he
So
probably
harsh.
deserves. Yeah, it definitely deserves one.
I mean, you know, he was kind of he got them through to the final.
almost instrumental. Yeah.
Didn't
he's
it
a
like
good-
come off his bum, the goal?
His hit, wasn't it? The hit, wasn't it? For
Yeah,
the-
something like
Hardly
that.
his
for the
goal,
City
but
one.
But it it got him through.
well, yeah, exactly. yeah.
Target man though, he's a decent target man.
Just
He is
showing what
34 years old though.
yeah. He
I-
had a good.
I
he
guess-
had
serves a
se-
purpose, and just
he had-
throw him on the pitch and
He had a
tell
good
him.
season for Swansea that time, didn't he?
I could see him in the Japanese league with like with David Villa
Torres
and,
as well.
and Torres and people like that.
Iniesta's there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of
It's like a decent retirement home.
it's not bad. Yeah, wages are alright as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Japan's
Yeah,
a wonderful country as well.
Well, you could take in the sights and whatnot. couldn't you?
Tokyo.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And now for the biggest player of them all.
Oh God, who?
So John knows this player. He's seen
Was
my
it John
notes.
Walters or something?
No,
He's retired.
he's retired.
Oh, that's he.
It's Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll's been released.
Yeah,
30 years old. They've
Finally
released him.
released him.
Finally.
Wow.
17 injuries in his professional career.
Come on.
Most have been at West Ham.
I don't really know what to say.
You know what clubs are looking at
Who
him.
signed
Well,
him?
why would you imagine his wages as well? Well, they're ridiculous, aren't they?
But can I just say, like, some of his
A
injuries
complete
aren't done on the football pitch.
Well, didn't they like spill? There's been cases in football where they spill tea over them, they get injured or something like that.
He's one of them players, yeah. Let's run through them. So this is the interactive part what I've been talking about.
Go on.
So it's not just him
Yeah.
who has these stupid injuries. In fact, there's been some freak accidents in the footballing world.
Well, I
What?
know there was the Scottish Premier League player that I don't know spilt coffee.
Darius Vassell did one. What did he do?
I'm going to run through them now. True or false? So, true or false? A player injured himself after rolling his ankle, putting on a pair of shoes.
True, probably. Yeah, I'd say true.
It's true, yeah. Who was it, do you think?
I don't know.
It was
Darius-
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll, of course he did.
He was out for another 10 days.
Oh, God.
They're just stupid injuries. Like,
He's so injury
Yeah,
prone.
I don't get it.
Unbelievable.
I mean, how do you roll your ankle while putting on shoes?
Andy Carroll and Sturridge have got to be the most injury
Made of
prone
glass.
players ever.
Yeah, made of glass, yeah. Right, next one. True or false? A player injured himself with a biro pen.
False.
Yeah, I made that one up. True or false? A player injured himself after leaving his leg resting on a coffee table for hours
True.
whilst watching TV.
I'd say true.
What do you say, John?
I'll go true.
Rio Ferdinand, when he was at Leeds.
Right.
Left his leg stretched on the coffee table for hours. Yeah, stretching his tendon or something
It
like
just
that.
sounds ridiculous.
Professional footballers.
Well, yeah, exactly.
yeah, this is what
Fairies,
it is.
aren't we?
Yeah. True or false? A player was forced to miss a number of games after he'd put 2 eggs in a microwave, which exploded and scalded him upon inspection.
That has happened before, not necessarily with a footballer.
Or is it one I've made up?
I
mean, you think back to that biro pen.
False.
It's true.
Oh, who was it?
It was a Rangers defender, Kirk Broadfoot.
I've never heard of him.
I haven't,
God.
to be fair.
Darius Vassell did one. That's going to bug me.
Have a search of it now.
Yeah.
This is the final one now.
Go on.
So, a player once tripped over his dog, fell down the stairs, and injured his ankle.
True.
Yep. Any guesses as to who that was?
Is it Darius Vassell?
It wasn't him. It was Liam Lawrence,
Oh, was it?
Stoke City
bet I
legend.
heard
Oh, I've heard of that one. Because funnily enough, he came into my class and did an interview.
Did someone bring it up?
And someone did bring
It's
it
like
up. And
insult.
said that,
Big
yeah.
joking.
Because he came into our class and we did like an interview with him and he talked about that. Yeah.
He's got a bit of a naughty history, hasn't he, Liam Lawrence? I don't know if we can really mention it.
Darius Vassell's one. This is one that just always has stuck in my mind. Darius Vassell is set to make his comeback for Aston Villa reserves tonight after recovering from his attempt to do yourself foot injury. The England striker has missed Villa's last 3 games with a problem with his toe, with part of the nail having to be removed after it became infected. Vassell, at the time, was 22. Wow, this article's old.
They are quite strict with that.
Had been suffering from a swollen big toe, which he only succeeded in making worse when he drilled through the nail in hope of draining the blood and easing the pressure. What an idiot.
Sounds painful.
Insane.
That sounds like such a Darius Vassell thing to do.
Whilst we're on the subject of Stoke City with that Liam Lawrence, last question. Manchester City are close to signing Rory Delap's son. I didn't even know he had a son.
I didn't know he had a son. Is it called Liam Delap?
He's called Liam Delap.
Yeah.
He's 16 years old, and he's already playing in the under-18 Derby squad.
Right.
Rory Delap really... throughout his career, he was known as a bit of like... It's incredibly harsh for me to say, but like a minger. In terms of...
minger.
Right.
Well, do you remember...
The hell's that got to do with his son?
Well, it's got nothing to do with his son, but that's so... Oh, well.
Would you say he's scary?
Yeah. Do you remember the size of his ears?
You've said that.
My mum used to proper roast him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's harsh, but at the end of his career, when he was he
Richard
Barnsley
Keogh.
or something like that, he grew like a beard and put his hair up. He looked quite good, to be fair.
Richard Keogh.
Well, look, Ian Dowie, do you remember it?
This just turned into a roasting session now.
Do you remember Ian Dowie?
Richard Keogh's
Footballers
the
roast
one.
me.
Ian Dowie's classic, but like
Well,
Richard
Ian
Keogh's
Dowie,
right
that.
now.
Oh, yeah.
He was on Sky Sports, Ian Dowie was. He looks like sloth. Have you seen the old picture of Davy Moyes?
Look at him, Richard Keogh.
Damn.
I don't know.
Ghost.
Who else is there?
I don't know, but with the fact how you said Delap was scary,
Yeah, Delap was scary.
that allows us to go back to the Royal Rumble thing.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble.
Because I don't think we touched on that enough. So we've already said about Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just fat though, isn't he?
We've said about Jose Mourinho potentially kind of being a Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I
kind
reckon
of figure.
he knows his way around the ref, that kind of
athletic.
thing.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
could talk to the ref, get in these good books or something. You know,
Are there any other managers? I mean, Maradona could be up there.
Touched on Daesh as well, didn't we?
Well, yeah,
we
Dash
touched
would
on
be
Dyche,
tough, not one to.
Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, we said him being a sneaky kind of heel,
Almost
almost like Alan Pardew.
Kind of getting the table
The
from
bad
under the
guy.
ring
Yeah.
when no one's looking.
That's quite a good question, actually. In
I mean,
terms
what
of
other managers have we got? What about Ollie? Because Ollie seems quite innocent.
no, I reckon he's too nice.
I reckon he's one of the first out.
Do you reckon, yeah?
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to fight.
He comes out, big
Yeah.
entrance.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know what? We're better off.
Yeah. He
I'm okay.
leaves.
I don't need
trying
to win
to
this.
sweet talk his way out, and then Sam Allardyce just picks him up and throws him out or something
Yeah.
like that.
It's okay. As long as I'm sixth, I'm happy.
Pochettino?
I reckon he knows
Good
his.
shout.
I reckon he could
I
smack
reckon he's
some.
hard. I reckon he's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I reckon he could knows his
Oh,
way
here's
around.
another one. Klopp.
I reckon
Because he
Klopp's
can
hard.
get angry. He's a nice man.
I
like,
reckon
when you
Klopp's
meet him on
hard.
Because he might
interviews.
shout at the ref.
He was
Yeah.
a German big centre half as well.
6'4",
He-
isn't he?
I know,
Have you seen that wonder goal that he scored? It's emerged
saw
all
that,
around.
yeah.
What a goal that
I
was.
reckon Klopp and Dyche are probably your final two.
What, someone like
Ooh,
Antonio Conte?
Guardiola.
Well,
Because he could get angry.
Someone like Antonio Conte, do you reckon? Or is this maybe?
That's a shout.
And Conte is a good shout.
Maybe.
Actually.
That's a
I bet
good
he's
shout.
I don't know
insane.
why. He's just got that aura.
But he's very animated, wasn't he? Yeah.
Ooh, Sarri.
Yeah.
Do you
Comes out
reckon-
with a cigarette.
Do you reckon he's
Burns
one,
it in their eye, doesn't he? Or something?
could use that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say sorry. He's got that. You've
What,
seen?
so do you reckon he wins it over Dyche?
No,
too
Dyche wins.
slow.
I don't know. I think Sarri.
Dyche is only about 50, 40.
I
late
reckon
40s,
Dyche.
isn't
Is,
he?
the thing is, I reckon Dyche is quick. I reckon he's quicker than you think.
Reckon he's got a good punch on
Plus, he
him.
was apparently a really
All right,
like,
then, let me
dirty
rephrase the
centre
question.
half.
Let's have a different situation. Sarri versus Dyche in a smoke-off.
Does Dyche smoke?
I reckon he does. Like that voice.
Big, massive cigar.
Oh yeah, he won't be on the
Sarri.
basic stuff. He'll be on the.
Yeah, big, expensive.
Yeah,
Got to be sorry. The guy like can
Eats them,
can't-
eats them,
He
doesn't he?
can't. He can't not smoke. Can he, basically, it's got to be sorry.
It's almost a superpower. Like he hasn't got blood running round. He's just got
Cigarette smoke.
tar.
Very
Yeah.
stinks of it.
Yeah,
doesn't
I
he?
reckon he does.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
reckon oh god, I don't like thinking about it. I've seen like the teeth as well when he smiles.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
Don't want to look.
it's like
Don't even wanna
cheese or
look.
something.
Cheese.
Well, yeah,
What?
it's like. Have you seen his teeth?
What, Sarri's?
Aren't they
I've never
minging?
really looked at his teeth.
Well, there's
to be
pictures of him
honest.
smiling and stuff like that. They're all yellow and whatnot.
I've never really thought, you know what, I'm going to check
He
out.
just
Yeah.
scream. I don't check. Well, I don't check him out. I don't, look at him in my spare time and whatnot. Well, he just looks like
I'm not so
He
sure
just
about
sat there
that.
doing
He
the
looks like
uni work and all
if
of
a
sudden, I
cigarette
wonder
was a
what teeth
person,
Sarri's
sort of
got.
thing.
Yeah.
If a cigarette was a person,
Here's another little question. If he went to Liverpool, would they even let him have teeth like that? Or would Firmino get him on the
there's a
veneers?
dentist in there that does all the
Yeah.
Coutinho's teeth, Mane's
Yeah,
teeth.
they had it done, didn't they? Like,
They did, yeah.
at the
There's
same
a video
time.
on
Coutinho, Firmino, and
YouTube of
Klopp.
the dentist, the interview and whatnot. He says, yeah, we get the clients coming in and all that sort
They
of stuff.
sort out his teeth then.
Did you see Firmino's teeth beforehand?
No, I didn't actually.
Ridiculous.
Well,
Aren't they glossing?
I'll have a look at my
Well,
spare
on
time.
now, tell you a good show watch. It's called The Champions on YouTube. It's like an animated thing where they put all the world's best footballers where in the same house sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a reality show. It's animated. The voice acting is terrible, but sometimes
Okay,
the jokes
yeah,
can
yeah.
be quite funny. There was one. I'll say it quickly. They were doing some sort of performance thing, and they switched the lights off, and they went Firmino, and Firmino smiled, and then that lit the room up, sort
Oh,
of
I
thing.
see,
Did you
yeah.
get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's quite funny.
Well, something that isn't funny is the English transfer window, because obviously it shuts earlier
Yeah, I don't like that.
because we had it open earlier.
Yeah.
Now, because of this, we haven't been able to really make any transfer business happen
No.
because, leagues like the Italian league, Portuguese league, Spanish league, they're still finishing their season
Yeah.
as our transfer window opens. So no player is going to leave with like 2 games to go.
No, they're not, no.
But obviously with the Nations League ending as well now, I think we'll find that a lot more business is about to happen.
It happens usually around July when people are back off from holiday.
Yeah, and it's all about these holidays, isn't it? Because, De Ligt has said that he'll decide on holiday.
Where his heart
All
lies
about
or something
PSG,
like that.
aren't they?
Apparently he's been advised to join Manchester United because he'll get started, and that's with a view
Someone's
to move
advised
to
him to-
Barcelona later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then apparently his heart is set on PSG, which
course
is
it is.
that's just suddenly
I
arose.
reckon that's because PSG are a massive football club with great tradition.
Great history as well.
It won't be the money.
No, it
at
won't
all.
be the money at all. I mean, that is... Come on. You're picking out of Barcelona, Man United and PSG and you're going to PSG.
It is. It's hardly an increase or a promotion
It's
from
not
the
really.
Eredivisie, is
No,
it?
it's not. I'd stay at Ajax over going to PSG.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree, yeah.
I mean, it just
You're
depends if he's
literally
driven
going
by
because
money.
of the money then, if you go to PSG.
But then people are saying that about Man U as well.
Yeah,
Because
would he
obviously we're going
start
to give
at
him more
Barca? He
money.
surely starts at Barca. Or does he
You'd
get
expect him to.
Does he get in over on Titty? Or does he get in over PK?
Titty?
I mean, the thing is, Barca aren't the richest club in the world.
Yeah.
Are they going to be spending, 80 million then to
Doesn't
bring
seem
in
like
someone
a
who's not
signing
going to
they'd
play?
make, does
Yeah,
it?
surely they'd start him. And, then
Well,
you're
if he does transfer, then surely Umtiti is going to leave. And I'd take him at United.
Yeah, on Titty would be a good signing for United.
There's a lot of moves this window where if someone moves, it's going to create a domino effect.
Well, this
like
is what
Pogba as well.
We were thinking that maybe they go in for Eriksen, maybe Man United. I heard
Yeah,
that.
I've heard that. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
shout. Apparently, we've moved for Rakitic.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Wasn't that good this season?
No.
Hasn't got
Aging
many
as well.
years left. Yeah.
Had a-
What is
had
he,
a good
29 or
World Cup.
30?
31.
No way.
Yeah, he's 31, 1987.
Why are we? I hope that's just paper talk. Surely the club isn't looking
Seems
at
like a
players
United
that.
signing.
You know,
Does seem like a
it
Man
does
United
actually.
signing, yeah.
Bring him in, one last final paycheck.
Yeah,
That's what it is, isn't it?
seems like a Man United signing, that does.
I
Is
must
that-
say though, as a United fan, I'm sat here looking at Madrid, and I'm quite envious. I mean, they've made some exceptional signings
Jovic,
already.
Hazard.
Eden Militao as well from
Yeah.
Porto.
I mean, I wonder how Hazard's going to fit in at Madrid.
I think
What-
he takes up that
Yeah.
Ronaldo role.
And Bale too.
Apparently, he's going to be number 7, isn't he?
Yeah,
Even though
sorry,
that's
James.
Mariano's number.
Yeah.
Was that Mariano? What's it?
He had a good season at Lyon.
Yeah.
Is it
Great
enough to wear
season, to
the
be fair.
number 7 shirt at Madrid?
Well, it was enough for Real Madrid to execute their buyback clause.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bale now Hazard's there, who's there fairly similar
Yeah,
position.
what do you make of this Bale situation? Because Zidane has told him multiple times, this is according to papers,
Yeah.
that we don't want you, you're not in my plans, leave.
Yeah.
Yet he's now apparently saying, I'd rather just stay and play golf.
Well,
in
that shows
Madrid.
his attitude, doesn't it? Just disgusting attitude. What else is there to really say?
I mean,
I
surely
mean-
you're begging for a move.
I felt sorry for Bale, but if that...
Did it first, but now that...
If him coming out saying, oh, it's okay, I'll see out my contract, I'll just play golf for a few years,
Dreadful attitude.
then that is
Well, they had
terrible.
disgusting attitude.
Yeah.
Awful. I mean, the fact that the guy can't speak Spanish, I think, is disgraceful.
Yeah, it is. You do. I mean, I felt sorry for him at first, like I said, but you do wonder how much of it he's kind of brought on himself.
Yeah,
He's
because
dug his own grave,
he's been there for 6 years now. You can't have not learnt the language. Surely.
No, it's true.
how do you interact with teammates? You can't really if you can't speak Spanish.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Quite disrespectful.
And it's disrespectful to the culture,
sense.
isn't it? Like, you go to another country and it's expected that you learn the language. I mean, like, we expected of people that come to England.
You look at Lineker in his
Yeah.
time at Barca, he's fluent in Spanish.
McManaman as well, Steve McManaman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Why couldn't Bale do that? It's just lazy. It's not good enough. It really isn't. It's if a player doesn't learn English here, we hound him, or any person that comes over here, we hound them. But
I think our English media is it's savage, to be fair.
yeah, it is. Well, I haven't heard.
But it is kind of right. You've come to our country, like
exactly, and Bale should do the same
you
thing.
need to communicate with your teammates.
No one seems to care that much about how Bale can't speak Spanish. I think it's really bad.
No, it's gone under the radar until now.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it's really you're gonna have the best people there to help you learn the language. It's literally if he doesn't learn it, he's not bothering.
And of course, he's been linked with United on loan.
Yeah.
Now, I would take him on loan.
Yeah, on loan maybe.
But
yeah.
what scares me about that is if in that contract we've got like a clause to buy him.
Yeah.
I think he's only good for a year or two.
That's the thing. They may do what Bayern Munich did with James Rodriguez and not actually sign him.
Yeah, I think that was very clever for Bayern.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't James come out and say he doesn't want them to sign him?
Yeah, he said
he told
that as
them,
well. Yeah, he did say that. I don't know what
I mean,
happens with him now.
where does he end up? Linked with United again, as everyone is.
Yeah.
If one of us became a footballer, all of a sudden we'd be linked with United.
United, yeah.
Surprise me.
That's how it seems.
Well, trying to think back in the day, Brazilian Ronaldo used to always be linked with Man United. Everyone's linked with Man
Unfortunately,
United.
we're that club, because our wage structure is that broken,
Yeah.
we're that club where someone like Ramos goes, right, I need another contract. I'll tell the club that Man U want me,
Yeah.
and then Real Madrid will panic, hand me another contract.
Ronaldo
It's
did
sorted.
it.
Ronaldo's done it a few times, yeah.
Ronaldo did it a few times.
We get
yeah.
used like that.
Yeah.
So switching over to the other Madrid side, Atletico, have you seen what's happened to them? They're having a torrid time.
How so?
Okay, so Griezmann wants out.
Yeah.
Barcelona apparently don't want him anymore because of his attitude.
Yeah, obviously he messed him around.
He's linked with United. I'm not sure if that's going to go through.
He's been linked with United before, hasn't
He has,
Well,
yeah.
it just seems like a spoiled little.
If Pogba stays, I'm happy for Griezmann to come in because they're good mates as well.
They are, but much in the locker room.
Yeah, but apparently we're going to get Rabiot as well. So imagine that French trio.
Yeah.
Well, won't they become isolated and just be the three that just speak French? And
I do get you because we've got apparently a couple of clicks as well from the Spanish lads because Alexis Sanchez speaks it as well.
Well, he won't speak any. His English will be terrible. He won't speak much English, so therefore isolated with the Spanish lads.
And he's not going to try, is he? Because at the end of the
No.
day, he's getting paid to walk his dogs at United.
Well, he
You know,
is,
to put
yeah.
it bluntly,
he is.
Getting paid
that's
to
what it is.
train, to walk his dogs, and to just
It is
go
the
watch
dream
the
life
football.
though for a player. Like you turn up to training, you have a
Wouldn't you be
kick
really
about.
bored, though?
No.
I don't know because think of
I
the
won't get
money, the
bored.
free time.
Yeah.
Of course you won't get bored. It's living the life, aren't
Yeah.
you? Watching the football every weekend.
But just going back to Atletico Madrid. So Griezmann wants out. Godin is off to
Yeah.
Inter, presumably. Lucas Hernandez is going to Bayern. Juan Fran is off. Felipe Luis, he's not been given a new
Godin's
contract.
off as well.
And
isn't
Barca are keen to sign him apparently. And then Santiago Arias as well. And here's the big one. Jan Oblak apparently wants out.
Wants to
he?
go United,
He's
doesn't he?
wants to
some
go to United,
goalkeeper,
yeah.
Oblak. He's up there. I think he's up there with Ter Stegen.
And do you know why he wants out?
Wages.
No. Because he's growing increasingly frustrated at the lack of transfer activity.
I can understand that because you might be frustrated that the club isn't progressing on to winning league titles and Champions Leagues because that's kind of been Atletico's aim for quite a while now.
And then the fact that the main players are leaving now
Yeah, exactly.
and no one's being brought in.
It seems like it's fallen apart a bit, doesn't it?
I mean, their policy used to be let a couple leave but bring in a real good signing.
Like I said, I really like Simeone as well.
Yeah, and this is what I want to touch on now because I think he's a great manager. Is this the time to leave? With so many players, with the club in uproar.
So many players leaving.
Yeah,
That would
I mean,
be the dream move for Chelsea.
yeah, I mean, the Chelsea job's open. Juve job, as we speak, is open. We don't know if they're kind of finalising with Sarri.
All but done, isn't he? I think.
I'd love to see Simeone at Juventus, though.
Yeah, he'd win in the Champions League, I reckon. But if
He
he
would.
went to Chelsea, oh my God, that would be
Yeah, the
such a good
scenes.
appointment for
Yeah.
Chelsea. That's the best appointment.
Well,
Chelsea
I'd be a bit
can get.
gutted that we went with Ollie.
I know, yeah.
Because
if he went to Chelsea,
I kind of think, yeah,
you
Simeone.
think because Man United fans wouldn't like his kind of football because they're very keen on the attacking football, and Simeone brings that kind of very defensive, organised football. But it works, and Chelsea would just fit, wouldn't it? I think. I really do think that would be the perfect fit.
And then, we were talking about that domino effect earlier.
Yeah.
If Oblak leaves, De Gea's going to leave.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if he goes to United, De Gea will certainly leave.
Yeah.
Looking like PSG as a replacement for Buffon.
Money.
Yeah,
Money.
It's all like clubs about, isn't it?
But then I was thinking this, like, didn't De Gea start off at Atletico Madrid?
Did, yeah.
Yeah.
Would he go back?
Maybe later on in his career, you could see that.
Maybe as a swap.
Just finally then, so the manager talk, Chelsea are closing in on the shock appointment of Rafa Benitez.
I heard that, yeah.
But they have been linked with Mourinho again.
I heard that Mourinho apparently said he's ready for a third stint. That's what I saw on the paper talk today on Sky Sports.
Again, suicide mission if he goes back.
Definitely.
Yeah, surely not.
Because the pressure on him is massive.
Surely not.
Go for a payday, though. Sign a nice contract and get sacked.
But he's in danger of ruining his legacy.
Of
what he's going to be remembered for.
I don't think he's so egotistical, will he?
I don't know why he'd go back. Third time.
Well, for the money.
But
Third time lucky.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
No, I think, to be honest, I'd go for Benitez over him.
Chelsea fans hate Benitez, though.
Well, he's been there, hasn't he?
They really. Yeah, he was out and they hate him, don't they?
They won the
Chelsea
Europa
fans.
League, though.
He did well with them. He did like Sarri did, but Chelsea fans just don't like him.
Oh, that's Chelsea fans for you, though, isn't it?
Well,
It
yeah,
is.
I know it is, but they don't like him. But I suppose Abramovich is not going to care what Chelsea fans think.
He isn't going to care what Chelsea fans think. No, he isn't.
I mean, he's not even in the country, so yeah. I think it's Lampard that's going to get that job by the sounds of it. I'd be surprised because I think Lampard, if he was definitely staying at Derby, would have committed to Derby by now. Because apparently they've been talking since the playoff final, and that was 2-3 weeks ago now. He'd have the contract signed, wouldn't he? Surely.
And as we said in the last pod, risky move.
It is a risky move. Yeah, it is a really risky move for both parties. I don't. He's had one season at Derby, and jumping to the Chelsea job is a big step, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Bit of a big
Massive.
But that concludes episode 2 of season 2 of Let's Talk Ball. Been a good podcast.
Yeah, decent, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of banter in there.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Fixtures released next week. We'll see who our clubs have got.
Yeah, as always, if you want to get involved, we've actually got a Facebook page now. So we've kind of got a community tab on there. If you search Let's Talk Ball Podcast, you should find us there. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel because we upload exclusive football content that you won't find on our podcasting platforms. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, that's it.
Decent. Thank you for
Been
listening.
a good podcast.
Thanks for listening. Yep. See you next week.
See you next week. Yeah.